Welcome back friends. This is the last segment of social media communication, social media based marketing, wherein continuing from our earlier discussion on Facebook and Instagram, now we are moving towards micro sites or micro modes basically. And one of the most important modes which has developed in due course of time is Twitter. You see, people they fondly say that this was tweeted, this was suggested, this tweet was followed by so many people actually. Now, you see these two things, that this particular statement was tweeted and this was followed by so many followers. So, this is an important kind of an element which is noticed by marketers. And one thing which I tried to suggest earlier as well, when we talked about digital advertising and now in social media as well, that creativity in terms of the availability of space, the creativity in terms of utilization of the space given for words by consumers and utilization of that particular opportunity of consumers by marketers to address them is the most important element which is working around the utilization of or should I say effective utilization of social media. See, what does Twitter offers? Like Facebook and Instagram, Twitter offers ad based on objectives, because here a specific communication is flowing. Many marketers point out that advertising on Twitter is a problem because the ads are expensive, the targeting is not as good as Facebook's, and user growth has stalled, but pay per click on Twitter can be cheaper than other options as well. You see, this is not a comparison, but again here just to point out that the element of effective utilization of a mode definitely depends upon the growth in number of users and the importance that particular mode gains in due course of time, as far as the effectiveness it generates as a mode. However, the large number of users or specific number of users are there. So, it depends upon the specific positioning that mode itself enjoys. We have talked about how Instagram is advertising about itself, how Facebook has advertised about itself. So, they are working upon their positioning. Twitter is also specifically pursuing a particular kind of a positioning for itself, and for some advertisers or many of those it is becoming a rational choice, it is making sense and it is generating returns for them as well. It depends how well it is adapted by marketers, how well they accustom themselves towards Twitter. Now, you see, the microblogging social networking site Twitter has a relatively low share comparatively, but definitely it has a specific target sphere. And you see here one thing which is very important, we just can't directly compare Twitter with Facebook. We may look at different social media options with their internal complementarity as well, and that is where the art of integrated marketing communication planning comes in. You see, up till now we have been focusing upon how different media choices they complement with each other, but now or earlier also I have suggested this very important element, that within those media choices there is a complementarity between the options as well, if they have different kind of an orientation and they can complement each other. So, marketers definitely can think in terms of utilizing Facebook and Twitter in complementarity to each other basically. So, that can also be done, although they would have an overlap in terms of as far as the users go. So, definitely there would be a conflict in terms of, or competition I should say, not conflict. So, that competition element would definitely work for. Now, you see, So, we should not look at it with a low share perspective, we can look at it with a specific target perspective as well, that they are targeting a specific kind of a user base. So, you see, and in an overall scenario, if you want to list everyone in social media with social media perspective, then it is 2.2%. Now, but it is increasing, as Statista says that it was 1.76 and now it has become 2.2. Now, whom it suits to, as we have just seen. You see, whoever is looking for instant reaction, as in case of other media as well, but Twitter basically generates a discussion around an issue largely. That is how, you know, these tweets, they come into being basically. Some specific issue is put up with its centrality, and then people start reacting to it, and that actually, you know, encompasses immediate reactions around a particular kind of a perspective. And here a different, you know, slightly different positioning it comes into being. You must have heard, you know, people saying that this was specifically tweeted and then it generated a particular kind of a debate, while, you know, you would have observed that. So, then at the same time you would have observed that you know, people would on different media or news channel, people would be referencing, you know, or referring to people would be referring to Twitter as a mode of communication utilized for a particular you know, kind of a debate, which is prominently being discussed on that news channel at that particular point of time. Here comes the reference of one media by the other media. Why is it important for us? It is important for us because we are looking at it with a marketing perspective. So, if our customer is associated with Twitter, we are addressing that customer with a message there. That same customer is being referred to, not specifically by name, but his action on another media. That customer definitely would be watching that media because his issues, his actions are referred by other media. Now, as a marketer, we move on to that media as well, where our customer is revisiting his own ideas, and there, if the same message is present, that makes a lot of relevance. So, you see, when this kind of a debate is generated on TV channels or you know, different kinds of modes, so it can be seen with reference to you know, other media, other social media options, that is those being referred to by people in discussions, and ads on other media, and you know, that comes into being, and that is what is largely integrated marketing communication. Advertising with Twitter is related to single image cards, multiple image cards, and you know, this is quite self explanatory, but just to give you a glimpse that single image cards, you know, they have it is a tweet with a single image, and multiple image cards include 4 images that users can click on each image to enlarge. Promoted video is a tweet that includes a single video, and basic app card and image card, a tweet that includes a call to action button that installs the app or directs users to their app store. So, video app card, an app installed tweet that includes a video, and then website card, a tweet that includes a button that takes the user to the website. Then lead generation card is there, a tweet card that enables a user's details to be auto filled in and sent to the brand with the simple click of a button. You see, the methodology, the approach is creating categorization here. There, and as I have been repeatedly saying, that it is an ever evolving process. Conversational ads are ads that enables brands to engage directly with users, and that users wherein users can share with their followers as well. So, that is how things are, and there are targeting options wherein location, age, gender, language targeting, device, platform and carrier, and you know, keywords, followers, interests, and then these are, you know, the targeting options available as far as advertising with Twitter goes. So, targeting option are associated with geography, demography, devices, keywords, and then, you know, tailored audience, and so on. So, see, again, as in case of other media options, there are several other several categorizations available with Twitter as well. Now let us come to LinkedIn, a very specific kind of an option, but continuously growing. And again, if you will relatively see it as another social media option, then the percentage might seem smaller to the levels of 0.25%. But if you will look at the specific target, then you would realize that they have occupied a very huge space as far as professional communication goes. And it they have given several options, for example, one for free, one for with a particular kind of a fee, which is a revenue generation mode for them. And there they have lots of options for exhibiting messages from the side of marketers and even the users themselves, if they want to put up something from their side. So LinkedIn targets involve professionals, people with professional abilities who get who actually wish to get connected with and professional orientation, who want other professionals to know about what they are doing. And you see, here you can have several kinds of marketers approaching them. So starting from consumer goods company to a company which is enabling jobs for people can also get associated with, as far as LinkedIn as a platform to project their services and platform goes. So it depends what kind of target orientation a marketer can have derived out of these professionals. One can always think in terms of automotive manufacturers to look for this kind of an avenue for their products. You see, if you are looking for high end executives, who earn lots of salary, so this can be a good option for luxury cars as well. And then it can be a beautiful option for let us say executive education or management development programs, which precisely many institutions are doing. They are putting up LinkedIn posts as marketers and utilizing that platform as far as because so many professionals who require those kind of courses, they are continuously associated or updating their details upon LinkedIn. And these days I have realized that academicians, they are also a very important part of the user base of LinkedIn. So you see, it tends to convert well on gated content that requires users to enter an email address or other information to download something, wherein you can further communicate with those specific people with a specific orientation also. So it enables you to develop a communication which becomes professionally meaningful. As I said, that many recruitment options are being developed out of LinkedIn in due course of time. Many placement and internship teams of institutions, they are using LinkedIn for attracting prospective HR heads or HR managers for their placement season and those kind of things. So it's a wonderful element wherein you put up a message that we are inviting you for this kind of thing. Basically they respond. If you are a marketer yourself and you are inviting those kind of people as a marketer, then definitely you have to have that kind of an orientation of developing that kind of a message. But if you are watching this communication between two professional communities, you can utilize this with reference to being a marketer at the onset. Now, as I said, the precise or let us say absolute number, if you will count upon, and which I do not have right now, but if you will go for that kind of thing, that how many subscribers are there and what kind of if you will look at it at economic strength, or let us say if you will look at these subscribers or users as buyers of several goods, then that makes more relevance. If you will look at a relative percentage as compared to other social media, it will look like a small percentage. But believe me, as far as their target goes, they are doing fine. So you see, and that is what the further Statista report says that with a user share of 47%, LinkedIn is one of the top 5 social networks. So let us look at this with this kind of a perspective. Now 22% of LinkedIn users are between the age of 18 and 24. 40% are between 25 and 34 years of age, and this is actually the difference between LinkedIn and other elements, wherein few of the social media options are specifically associated with 18 to 24 only, and here you have a professional space. And have I mentioned earlier that you see that 18 to 24 would grow up into a different kind of an age bracket. Would they remain with that kind of an option, or would they switch over to LinkedIn? That is where the marketer should focus upon. If marketer is focusing upon the transition of that 18 to 24 bracket to this 30 plus, or this 35 44, or let us say 25 34 bracket, which is switching over to LinkedIn, then the complementarity or marketer get traveling with their messages from that option to this option makes relevance. If somehow they will remain with that option and they are coming to this option as well, then marketer would look at the complementarity perspective, and that is what where integrated marketing communication planning comes in. And when I say IMC planning with reference to a specific mode of communication, that is, we are focusing on social media as a part of digital media. So, media planning associated with social media planning associated with relevance to social media as a part of digital media planning associated with social media, digital media, and the complete structure of marketing communication options we have. So, this can be a flow and a sequence. It depends. If we focus upon only social media, what is the volume we are devoting in terms of our resources for that social media, and then what is the contributory factor towards other digital media options, and then how we are complementing it with other media options. So, it depends upon the budget, the resources, and so on. Now, you see, men and women perspective is also there. So, 60-40 ratio is again, this is a promising picture as compared to other options, wherein here in professional world women participation on LinkedIn is high, and that is what we are talking of. You see, prospective growth of women participation on social platforms in economy is actually a very relevant and important thing for marketers to understand, not only with reference to their creativity, their targeting approaches, their perspective, and putting up the product augmentation at a later stage as well. Probably we would be talking about product and product management and branding in some other parts in later discussions probably. But again, the point is that is how the cycle gets developed, and influence gets it traverses from one thing to the other. Now, B2B marketers who want to target business professionals should start with LinkedIn and companies that hire a lot of people and so on, that I have already referred to, and very specific business to business elements can be addressed, wherein specific deals, wherein specific options can be generated for with relevance to professional communication in terms of, let us say, specific machinery options, or let us say capital goods options, or let us say services options with specific approach towards the specific decision makers as your buyers. Advertising with LinkedIn is related to sponsored content, sponsored in-mail, reaching your audience through their LinkedIn inbox. Now, this is again a very important feature, very good feature which LinkedIn offers. Then there is dynamic advertising, then it is display ads, text ads. Now, text ads are very important mainstay of as far as LinkedIn goes, and that makes a lot of difference. It is there are several surveys and studies which have been done on specific social media modes as well. There are papers associated with LinkedIn as well, wherein there is a glimpse of output which says that people, they read on as far as text ad goes on LinkedIn, basically because they the users, they assume that these would be adding meaning to their information and these are useful for them in due course of time. So they spend time on that. You see, professionals, they have reasons, they have motives, and LinkedIn actually is associating everyone with specific motives to address in terms of others and so on. So then there are targeting options associated with location and job related functions, then degrees and skills and demography, and then company name and size. Now this data actually is very important in terms of anything you would look at. If you are a B2B marketer, this data and this aspect is very relevant to you, because you would like to know that whom you are interacting with in due course of time. And if you are possibly looking for a job option, definitely this is an important element for you. So marketers, they focus upon, and you see, I am repeatedly suggesting that here we should be looking at users as communicators as well, but with a marketer's perspective, we must keep reminding ourselves that we are watching a particular communication happening, and we want to put up our product or service or message within that communication for those people who are communicating with each other. That is where these kind of sites are playing a very important role for us. Then there are LinkedIn groups, and we may address whole of the group as such. And you see, a very interesting thing, Abu Dhabi tourism engaged, they actually focused upon specific features of their city. You see, Abu Dhabi has been a tourism destination also, but it's a very prominent business destination. Now you see, the very important thing which their tourism department realized was that people come here, they have some time to spend here. So how to convert business travel into tourism as well? You see, if you have some hours, where should you be spending those hours? And then they created a beautiful campaign around those spots, those places, that particular time, that skyline. It's a beautiful campaign. You just watch it. You go to LinkedIn and you watch it, and you would realize that that makes lots of relevance, and that helped them as well. So lots of professionals, they started visiting the places as such. Now YouTube, and one of the most important contributors in whole of the social media. It has done magic wonders. It is instrumental in popularizing music. It is instrumental in popularizing thoughts. It is instrumental in popularizing several other platforms, even websites. It is instrumental in popularizing personalities and so on. So you see, YouTube ads can help you connect with people who are interested in what you have to offer, with lots of flow, basically, because it's full of videos, and you can stay there for a very long time if you want, basically. And in COVID period, people have been telling me that they have been continuously watching YouTube for n number of reasons. And Google has upgraded YouTube's data attribution model, so you can better measure how users engage with your ads, with marketers' ads. And one can also determine cost per conversion and see YouTube ads performance alongside the search and shopping ads attribution reports. So that is how Google enables their marketers to understand that what kind of benefits they are getting. And there are several kinds of other advantages associated with that. So YouTube, because it has grown big and it is a picture video based kind of a platform, so that is definitely, it has lots of attraction, it has no limits, you can go ahead with watching as much as you want and so on. So it, and not to mention, it generated 19.7 billion revenue in dollars as of January 2021. And you see, YouTube's audience isn't only limited to younger generations actually. Now here again, this is an advantage as far as YouTube goes, and that advantage would definitely travel towards other social media platforms as well, but in due course of time. You see, this is an evolving situation. So in fact, there is a big percent of baby boomers who are on the video platform as well, as per Sprout Social 2021, and it is suitable to target every age bracket and every generation type as far as YouTube goes. And Gen Z consumers are also, very much active on as far as YouTube, and that is an attractive kind of a thing associated with YouTube for marketers. Now you see, YouTube perspective is relevant with one more thing, that marketers should optimize their content and incorporate YouTube hashtags to ensure the platform knows what topics their videos are about and will be more likely to recommend it actually. So you see, there is a whole lot of videos available on YouTube. Marketers also go there with a similar kind of an orientation. So categorization, or let us say nomenclature, would definitely help people serve. And here I should mention one very important thing for you, that YouTube is served for specific kinds of advertisements, specifically by people who wish to watch different kinds of messages. That is a very big advantage. You see, a platform which is served for advertising. So that is an important thing. And a thought comes to my mind whenever I watch YouTube advertisements, is that if somehow those advertisements are popularized on other media, that makes integrated marketing communication more powerful, because we utilize YouTube, to popularize YouTube advertisements on other modes of communication, probably television or newspaper. Have you watched any newspaper advertisement saying that watch YouTube for this kind of an advertisement? There are messages on that, but I have not seen any specific advertisement related to that. There is a suggestion to marketers if they wish to go for that. You see, advertising with YouTube is related to two aspects. One is paid advertising by promoting video content next to or during other content on the site, and making a brand channel which provides analytics and community features. So that is how two elements are associated with advertising on YouTube. And another aspect is that being able to personalize and brand your own YouTube channel helps to develop your brand's online presence and assists with SEO, search engine optimization. We have talked about it extensively. Through analytics, you can observe what types of content resonate more with your users, and you can also optimize your efforts by sharing popular content on other platforms, or even paying for promotion of popular content to get further reach and awareness. When I say you means marketers. So at this particular moment, we are scholars of marketing and integrated marketing communication. We are students of IMC. So I take all of you as prospective marketers in due course of time. With this, I end my discussion on social media communication, social media advertising. There is lot more to go ahead with and think of, but this is just a larger glimpse on how social media advertising and communication has become a mainstay in whole of the integrated marketing communication plan, perspective, and IMC world, should I say. So I'll leave you with this thought, that where it is leading us, I'll leave you with this perspective to evolve in your minds in due course of time, that how other elements would come up in due course of time to complement social media, or would there be a situation wherein conventional media or mass media related to, I should not be saying mass media because social media itself is becoming mass media. So should I say television and newspaper separately? Would they be coming back with same kind of a perspective which they enjoyed in due course of time? If they would, what would be the reason or so? So these are some of the thoughts which I leave you with, and I'll be seeing you next time with content marketing perspective, which is one of the important elements of IMC. Till then, goodbye.